Welcome to the channel and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another live. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's have this conversation today. Now, this conversation we're going to have today is going to be about the fact that you should not share your financial success with anyone, not one person. Don't share your financial success with anyone unless they ask and they want to know. Now, if they want to know, they want to ask questions, that's cool. But my my shout or my urgent plea to you guys is just don't share your financial success with people. People don't care. They really don't care about your financial success. Now, if they do care and they ask, then you share. Hey, how you doing today? My brown skin Barbie, good to have you here. John Joe's in the house. Good to have you, John. Appreciate you being here. Robert's in the house. Wherever you're from, let me know where you're from, what city, what state, what country you're in, and let's have this conversation, right? Let's put it on the table. Let me grab my headphones. Guys, let me know that you can hear me okay. Give me a, what do you call it? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me okay. I think I can hear myself okay. I think we're good to go. Guys, let me know by a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Namisha, how you doing? Mrs. Moore in Atlanta, good to have you here, Mrs. Moore. Don't forget to reach out to me, Mrs. Moore. I think we haven't touched bases, but we will. St. Louis is in the house. Good to have you. Louisville, New Orleans, Nolans, Massachusetts is in the house. We got them from all over. Malaysia's here. Appreciate you being here. Spokane Valley is here. Mia from Atlanta's here. Richmond, Virginia, loud and clear. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. I just want to have an honest conversation, guys, about the fact that what happens when you actually start building some wealth, or not even building wealth, you just start having some financial success. Now, the title of the video, don't let that mislead you. It says, never share your financial success with anyone. Again, I'm not saying don't share money, your wealth. Don't give. I'm not saying any of that. Give, help. I talk about giving and helping a lot on this channel, and it's very, very important. It's a very, very important part. I've given throughout my whole journey. So make sure you give. But when I say never share your financial success with anyone, I'm saying just don't tell people about your money. You don't have to tell people about your money, right? Just be very, very careful. Most people could care less. And we live in a society where a lot of people would rather see you fail than achieve. Just you got to understand that, guys. And it's not a bad thing. It's not saying people are horrible. That's not what I'm saying, right? But once you win with money or start winning with money, don't you don't have to go into it. If they ask, great. But listen, people are addicted to drama. Let's be real, right? People are absolutely addicted to watching other people fail. We like success stories here and there. Some of us like, and some people like comeback stories, right? But look, if everybody loves a comeback, it means they love to see the failure first, right? We are addicted to drama. Look out in the world today. So and so versus so and so, right? This TV sports announcer versus that TV sports announcer, right? Just look on YouTube. Those videos will get 1 million views, right? So and so versus somebody. Somebody did. We have been conditioned to be addicted to problems, issues, drama, death, murder, you name it. I'm saying what everybody else probably knows, but I've been the person that always in my whole life has just said the things that other people just won't say, right? South Alabama's in here. Good to have you. Sunset on the Ocean from Atlanta's here too. Connecticut's in the house. Ooh, all the way in the Northeast. Chicago, grew up in KC. Good to have you, Randall. So people enjoy, listen, there's people that are watching you when you told them, well, I'm trying to get my money together. I'm trying to get my money right. Unfortunately, and I think it's unfortunate, there's people that are looking for the drama. I'm gonna try to keep this thing real today because I want to be. I just want to be open, right? Just want to be open, guys. Do me a favor when you come in here, smash the like button for me. Hit that thumbs up, and let's just talk, right? People are not interested in your financial success. You got to be very, very careful who you share your information with because some people that you thought would be happy for you when you start winning for money, they won't be, right? You are going to have haters when you start winning with money. And I mean, this is long before you build wealth. Let's say you start at the age of 20 years old and you start building wealth. You will build wealth. Okay, let me preface all of this with saying, thankfully, I have a good group of people around me, right? But so this is sort of what I've acknowledged and sort of what I've seen over the years. Okay. But when you start winning with money, you're going to have people that start hating on you winning with money. Now you say, well, why do you talk about money, smart money, bro? Well, the reason I talk about money is specifically to help people. It's not to boast, it's not to brag, it's not to gloat, it's to help other people who maybe have started or who want to start and build some wealth for themselves or who have started to build some wealth for themselves and they need a little extra boost or a little bit extra information, a little bit extra knowledge, a little bit extra, navigation through the notion of building wealth. But unless you're doing that, helping people specifically in a public way, or unless they ask you, don't share. Never share your success with your financial success with other people. All right. Now, there's some people that it may ask you, but that's very, very few in between, right? When you start winning with money and building wealth, you're going to have a few people that ask you, hey, how did you do that? Just a few, right? Just a few. This is a topic that we sort of push under the rug, but it's sort of the elephant in the room, right? It's the attitudes that people have about people with money or people that are building wealth or have wealth. These attitudes are sort of pushed under the rug, but they're out there. Lots of people are not comfortable talking about this scenario. And that's why you don't see it. You do a Google, not a Google, but do a YouTube search for videos talking about why you should not talk to people about your money. You ain't gonna get nothing but like 5 or 6 videos over millions and millions of videos because this is not a conversation that people have very often. Okay, thanks, Mrs. Moore. She said she got on the schedule. Appreciate you. Kevin is here. Namisha, thanks for the thumbs up. Hi, Smart Money Bro, tuning in all the way from UK. Good to have you here, Brad. Let's see here. You share, you will get hate. It happens. Let's talk about why it happens a little bit, right? No matter how humble you are, you got to understand. I don't care how humble you are with money. Money is a sensitive topic to a lot of people. You have to know that if you're trying to build some wealth and you're 25 or 30 years old, that by the time you get to be 40 years old and you have some wealth, you may have a whole different group of people around you. There will be people that you thought would be pushing you and encouraging you and motivating you who aren't doing it. Right? I don't want to step on any toes with this conversation. That's not my intention, but some toes may be stepped on because when you say things that are the truth out loud nowadays, you tend to get pushback. Not always, but a lot of the times you do, right? And this is just a fact that you don't have to share your success with anyone when you start winning with money, your financial success. I suggest you don't share it unless they ask or unless you're publicly trying to help a lot of people. And you got to do it publicly when you help a lot of people because oftentimes people have been scammed so much that they don't believe you. Right? If you're not standing by a Lamborghini and, flashing something, on the outside of you, people just assume that you're just talking, right? Because they don't see proof, or what do they call it? Receipts, right? They don't see receipts, so they think you're just talking. So you have to prove to some people. So sometimes if you're out front trying to help people with their money in any significant way, you're going to have to talk a little bit about your success to draw them in, or your failures to draw them in, or something going on with you or how you did it to draw them in, your experiences, right? That's when you're out front trying to help other people. Now, some people are out front only to help themselves. You got to be careful about that person too, right? That's the guru who tells you how, hey, I just got $10,000 in 2 days. Let me tell you how I did it. Now, listen, that's not all bad. It's not all wrong. Sometimes it works, right? But people, you got to be careful about those people, right? That are trying to just be out front to better themselves and not with the focus on helping you, the main focus, right? It's okay to get better and have money and make money. I'm okay with that. That's great. That's good. There's nothing wrong with making money, making lots of money off helping other people. I'm okay with that, right? But you got to be careful to decipher who's out front trying to show their money and tell their money to you to help you, as opposed to who's just doing that only primarily to help themselves. There's a big difference. There's a huge difference, right? But if that's what your goal is, then yeah, you have to kind of tell people or share a little bit about your financial success. I'm good with that. But if you're just a regular person who's built up a $500,000 nest egg, or a million or 2 or 3 million, just be quiet. Just chill. Don't share, right? I'm trying to talk to the people who are either winning with money or who plan to win with money, who want to do better. I want you to understand that when you start winning, everybody's not going to be happy for you. And you have to know this. This is a part of wealth building. Nobody tells you this, but I'm telling you, this is what you have to know. Everybody won't be happy, period. Why people don't care about you? Listen, let's talk about it. There's several reasons. Hey, Marilyn's in the chat. R. Payne, good to have you here. Excuse me, guys. Brad, if you tell people about your money, they would just see that as you're someone they can try and loan and borrow money from. Yeah, you're right, Brad. You definitely can become a target. And here's the deal. Let me just say it. If you have some money and somebody asks you to borrow some money and they know you have money, that lowers that lowers the way they look at you in their own mind. Because hey, you have the money. You ought to be giving all kind of money to everybody, right? You got that amount of money. Oh my gosh, you should be handing out money, right? No, that's the wrong way to think. But you'll get that. Hey, Christian Hughes checking in from Alabama. Good to have you. Salute back to you. Let's see here. Good afternoon. Checking in from Boynton Beach. One of my favorite words in the world. Boynton Beach, Florida is RC. Good to have you here, RC. Thanks for checking in. Now, Robert said, my parents are definite drama queens when it comes to money. Family members, your money as soon as they get in financial. Yep, you'll have that too, right? Brooklyn, New York in the house. Good to have you here, James. And let's see here. Tifton, Georgia's here. Good to have you. Kimmy Apple, good to have you here. Most people don't listen anyways. Some that listen only listen to hate you. True that happens. What are the reasons? Like what happens to people's mind? And just be honest, guys. We can talk in the chat. What happens to people's minds when they see you winning with money that turns them off? What happens in people's minds when they see you starting to build some wealth and do some things different, and they figure out, oh man, you just bought that car cash? Wow, you must have some, right? What happens? Is it, I'm asking the question, is it jealousy or envy? Right? Maybe there might be some jealousy or envy. I don't know. Right? Which can lead people down a road. Obviously, it's an emotional response. People down the road of just hate, right? Maybe, okay, there's some comparisons that go on too, right? Seeing somebody else having success with money sort of makes other people feel, sometimes just being honest, inadequate, or it highlights what they don't do well because you're out there winning with money, which can obviously lead to them having some negative feelings about you. This happens. And like, we got to talk about it. If we're trying to build wealth, we got to know what happens when we build wealth. What's the consequences on what's on the other side of building wealth? What's on the other side of doing well with your money? And there's a lot of people who just don't understand, once they start winning with money, how to really handle it. So they want to share it with everybody, and they want to talk to everybody and tell everybody. Everybody doesn't want to hear that. They don't care. Most people don't care about you doing well with money. Is it because that most people are not doing well with money? Right? Maybe there's some, they have some different values. Some people don't value having any type of financial success, and they look at you as valuing that. And what automatically comes to mind is, oh, you value money more than people. Oh, you like money more. Oh, so you put money ahead of people. Money is your only. Just because you're winning with money, you're going to get this type of conversation or this type of thought process in the background. They may never say it, right? But some people will think that you value money over people and everything else because you have went out and earned a lot of money, or you went out and did something to make a lot of money. Some people think that, right? Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Did I pass something up? I thought I passed it up. Maybe I didn't. If there was a super chat, thank you for the super chat. Not sure if there was or not, but there's a lot of comments. There it is. Carlton, I appreciate you. Carlton Danville. Carlton said, and I'll highlight it, Carlton. With success comes criticism. Any recommendations for index funds? I'm a new investor. Carlton, my recommendation as a new investor for index funds, I'm going to answer this question off topic, but I'm going to answer because you gave a super chat and I appreciate it. Carlton, a broad-based index fund. Total market, total global market, S&P 500. That's probably the best move for a brand new investor. A broad-based index fund that has a bunch of things in the bucket. I like the S&P 500. So I appreciate the super chat, Carlton. Thanks. And you're right. When it comes with success, any success, I don't care if it's college degrees, I don't care if it's you name it, your business, it's going to always come with criticism. And what people don't do is nobody teaches the successful person how to deal with criticism. We just don't talk about it. Right? But you're going to get it. Some people look at you funny, right? They're going to look at you funny. They're going to talk about you behind your back and you don't even know it. There's also this perception too. Let me bring this up because I put this in my notes. Let me find my notes real quick. Here it are. Yeah, I put this in my notes. There's a perception. Excuse me. There's a perception of an unfair advantage. This is a perception that a lot of people have in, say, America, or in at least America, but in a lot of countries, right? Sometimes that perception, depending on where you are, what part of the world you're in, sometimes that perception's correct. There is an unfair advantage, right? But in a country like America, which a lot of countries are similar to America, the perception of luck or the perception of an unfair advantage, I'm not sure where it comes from. Here's what you got to remember, guys. This is my opinion. Equality. I'm talking about equality, not equity. And I'm talking about equality. Everybody starting at the same place in life. That's not realistic. It's never taken place in the history of the planet, in the world, pretty much, where everybody starts at the exact same level, at the exact same place. That's not realistic. Okay? So to some extent, you could say there is unfair advantage and there is luck all over the place. Right? In some way of looking at it, unfair advantage is life. We're not all born the same day. We don't want won't all die the same day. We won't all have two parents. We won't all have a parent. We won't all have an arm. We won't all have you're going to start at different places. So there is sort of an unfair advantage. Look, I started about right here towards the bottom, right? There's people that had it worse than me, but I was poor growing up. And some people were middle class growing up. Some people were wealthy growing up. That's called life. That's not called I got lucky. You got luck and unfair advantage and extra blessings. Those things happen. That's life. Right? There is a luck factor. You have to be in the place at the right time with the right idea and the right vision and the right extra $10,000 from an uncle, right? Those things line all up, and next thing you know, you're a billionaire 30 years later. It happens, right? There's a luck factor. There's an unfair advantage factor. Some people take that idea that there was an unfair advantage and they internalize it, and it becomes emotions. Now they don't like you. Now they hate you. Now they hope you fail, right? But I'm going to tell you, everybody starts at a different level in life, but the opportunities are out there. That's the kicker, right? But some people just feel like, hey, you got an unfair advantage because you had this. Well, I could turn around and say, well, you have an unfair advantage because you have that. Be careful. A lot of people, this is how people are, okay? And, you can take it from me. Everybody has their own idea about these things, guys. But these are the tough conversations about money that is good to have. It's good to have these tough conversations about money, right? But people tend to be focused on themselves, focused on what they're trying to accomplish. And sometimes that focus makes them pay less attention to you or care less about you. Not care less about what you got going on, but you're out here showing everybody. Be careful. Some people just they're just busy, right? And they don't take the time to acknowledge or care about what's going on. They might, say something here and there. Hey, good job. Congratulations. But do they really care? Right? Financial success will likely change the people that's around you and the people that you find yourself hanging around. That usually happens. Is it good? Is it bad? As you begin to build wealth, you'll see that your circle of friends will change. Some will be there with you for the whole route, but a lot of times when people see you going up a mountain and they're in the valley where you used to be, they don't care about you moving up that mountain. They love you when you're in the valley with them, but they hate on you when you start to go up that mountain to financial success. That happens more than most people want to talk about. All right? Let's just keep it real. Right? Modesty, humility, important. Modesty, humility with your wealth is important. See, if you know these things about people's reaction, then it will help you keep quiet. It will help you not share your financial success with everybody else. Again, I want you to help and help and help and give as much as you can, all the way while you're building your wealth. Even when you don't have money, still give. So when I say never share your financial success, I'm saying don't tell people. You don't have to talk about it. Don't tell people what you got and all the good stuff, right? Guys, do me a favor. In the description box below on YouTube, there's Mint Mobile, my partner on this video, guys. Check them out. If you want premium wireless service for, much less than you're paying right now, check out Mint Mobile. Real solid, by the way. Let me go back to the chat, guys, and we'll finish. We'll keep going. We got a lot more to share with you here. Let's see here. Let's see. When you do well, you got to surround yourself by others that are were that are where you're at or doing better, said E-Rod. Appreciate that comment, E-Rod. Guys, let's get the likes up. That little thing that has a little thumbs up, smash that for me real quick. Smash the like button. Thank you, Mrs. Moore. I see Powernomics in the shelf. Great book. Absolutely, Randall Sims. I never bring attention to the books, but we got Simple Path to Wealth. We got John Buck O'Neill, written by Phil Dixon up here. Powernomics, 48 Laws of Power. We got some more stuff. Look, my video went dark. There we go. Okay. So I got a bunch of books up there, guys, but that's just a tiny collection. I love books. So, but okay, here's another thing to think about. Okay, so when you're building wealth, a lot of times people don't really understand. They think that because you have or building wealth or your money is getting better and all that, people think that everything's great, fine and dandy, wonderful. You have no problems, no issues, right? And so when you start talking about your financial success, people are looking at you like, well, you don't have any problems. What are you talking about? You got a net worth of $1 million, $2 million, $5 million. What are you talking about? You got a $300,000 net worth. What do you listen? Money doesn't solve all your problems. Okay. So sometimes people just don't appreciate the fact that even though you might be building wealth or trying to build wealth or have wealth, that you still have a whole set of issues that you're dealing with as well. Right. And one of those issues could be the fact that, hey, people are hating on you because you're trying to build wealth. Right. Now, I'm not here. Let me just say this, guys. I'm not here to sing the praises and say that wealthy people have all kind of problems. I'm not saying that. Right. I'm just saying that everybody has issues, whether you have money or you don't have money. Right. Right. People think that money makes you happy. Money doesn't make you happy, right? You got to find your joy. And I don't like to say happiness because to me, happiness is an emotion. It comes and goes. Happy one day, not happy the next day. So I don't really hang my hat on happiness. I hang my hat on joy because joy is a choice for you to choose to feel good and be good even when things are bad, right? Even when things go bad or go good, you're just right in the middle. You got joy no matter what. So I'm big on joy, not so big on happiness, the emotion. But money doesn't solve your joy because I know some of the most joyful people I know don't have hardly any money. That's a choice, right? People assume that happiness or that money brings happiness, money brings joy, money makes everything okay. I'm here to tell you, as a person that has built some cash, built some money up, it doesn't. Money doesn't make you happy, right? Money can bring you some things that you want, right? So a little bit of peace of mind and some a feeling of security, etc. But it's not the overall. There's a lot of people with a lot of money that ain't happy and don't have any joy, but they got a lot of money. So that should prove to you that it's not the money that can make you happy or sad, those emotions, right? So these are the things that we have to talk about from a standpoint of building wealth, not just go invest in this dollar amount, not just, hey, do this, buy this piece of real estate and or flip these houses or make sure you get in on this. What about the mental aspect of having money, right? The psychology of having money and being able to be good with money, right? And not feel like, well, everybody's supposed to be happy. They won't be happy for you. They won't share in your exuberance when you have money, right? There's a stereotype that financially successful people fall into in the perception of most people, a lot of people, right? If you start building wealth, you fall into a stereotype for a lot of people. They perceive you to fit in with what their preconceived notions of are about a person that has money. But people don't care that you have money. They don't care. They will not care. If you understand that they don't care, it's going to help you manage your expectations as you begin to build your wealth. It's going to help you manage what you expect out of other people as you build your wealth, right? That way you understand what if you start building wealth and you understand this principle, then it's going to make you respond differently to the people that you encounter who may not have the exuberance over your money like you thought they would, right? But there's this thing in our society today that may not have been there 30, 40 years ago about economic inequality, right? Economic disparities, the wealth gap between men and women, between black and white and Hispanic and Asian, between millennials and gen what are they called? I don't know, baby boomers, right? Whatever. There's this economic divide, this inequality, and that wealth gap gets bigger, right? We got to admit there's significant disparities between wealth. We just got to admit it. There is. But it can lead to these feelings of resentment towards you because you're building wealth or because you have wealth. And I think that this is a conversation that a lot of people can relate to. If you're in this chat right here or you're watching this video, a lot of people can relate to this because you're here because you invest your money, you grow your money, you understand money, you make a budget, you do these things, and you have people around you that don't. You have people around you that aren't winning with money. And that's when these feelings of resentment can come up. They may not come up in your face, right? They may come up behind your back, right? But they're out there. This perception of unfairness, right? And there's also this perception that people who have wealth got the wealth by being nefarious or being unethical and hurting other people to get the wealth. So you're a millionaire. You must have exploited somebody along the way. People really, really believe that, right? Or there's this big perception. Here's another one. People have a big perception that nepotism. You got your wealth because somebody helped you along the way. Most people, I hear this a lot. Most people who are wealthy, they got their money because their parents left them something, or rich uncle. That's not okay. So if we define wealth, let's say we define wealth. I would define wealth as having $1 million net worth. And I know some of you may be saying, hey, that's not very much wealth. But if you have $1 million net worth today, you're still doing better than 90% of the people in America. Maybe 95% of the people in America. So whether you think you got to have $5 million to be wealthy or not, 1 million is still that's a nice chunk of change. Let's be honest about it, right? So if you have $1 million net worth and maybe $30,000, $40,000 in the bank, to me, that's a measure of wealth. Is it uber wealthy? I don't even listen on this channel. I don't even talk about the uber wealthy. I don't talk about the wealth of Elon Musk or the wealth of people that are worth 30 and 40 and $50 million. Because I don't want to I'm talking to the regular person who wants to become a millionaire or have 2 million or $4 million, right? But those uber rich, I'm not talking about them, right? So when you look at a millionaire, there's been, I think, 3 big studies out there. The biggest one was done by Ramsey Solutions, but there's been other big ones out there, not quite as big as that one. But all of them really point to the fact, after the surveys and so forth, that most people didn't inherit any money in America. We're talking America here for this one. Most people who are millionaires or more didn't necessarily inherit money. Now, when you start talking about, I think Stanley talked about decamillionaires a long time ago in his book. The percentage goes up a little bit of those who actually receive some money, a head start. But for the most part, guys, people aren't receiving these big inheritances. What people are doing is just some of the things that I talk about on this channel for over a long stretch of time. And so nepotism is not at work as much as people think. Getting handed money down or handed positions, that doesn't happen as much as people think. But there's this perceived or perception that is out there. There's a perception that you got your money by exploiting somebody else, taking advantage of other people, taking advantage of the little man. Listen, if I own a business and I employ 50 people and I pay them, that's called capitalism. That's not exploitation, right? And I happen to have my product made in Peru, as an example, but I employ 50 people right here. Am I helping 50 people? Or am I taking advantage of the people in Peru who's shipping the product? What this perception is out there. And if you have money, you fall under that stereotype. Sometimes there's people that don't even know you, but because they see that you might have some money, they don't like you. Let's just keep it real. It's unfortunate, but that's a fact. There's people that listen, it's the same concept, not same, but a similar concept when you walk into a job. There's people that don't like the manager just because of the title that the manager has as the manager. There's people that don't like the owner just because the owner of the company is called owner. They don't know the owner. They never had a conversation with the owner. They don't know the manager. They don't really talk to the manager. They just don't like the manager because of the title manager. They don't like the owner because the owner is the owner. People don't like you if you win with money and they know you have money just because you don't have money. There's people that are like that. Right? That the power dynamics, right? Wealth transfers into I don't like you because you must have done something to get to where you are. Or people are judging you in a much more critical way because you got money. So they're looking at this is out there. And if you're trying to win with money, you got to know it's out there. You got to know it's out there. Right? This is just, I'm just trying to have a real honest conversation about wealth that people tend to not talk about as much as we probably should. How do you handle building wealth when you're surrounded by people that just don't care about you building wealth? Be careful. Do not share your financial success with everyone, with anyone, unless they ask you. Now, let's talk about the historical factors and the systemic factors, right? These things are out there. And they also are part of this perception. When I talk about the historical things, I'm talking about racism, colonialism, right? Colonialism. These systemic things that were set up to create long-lasting economic disparities. They're out there too. And it plays into the perception. And we can say sexism, racism. We can talk about ageism. We can talk about a lot of the isms. Those things are out there. And a lot of times we sort of sweep it under the rug. And look, I see things from all different sides. So I understand that those things are out there and they're prevalent and they matter and they're important and they're history and they're part of what, and in some instance, they're still a part of what's happening right now, right? There's still these disparities. There's still these glass ceilings for women, for race, or for Black Americans, African Americans, for Hispanic Americans. It's out there. I know it's out there. I don't deny that. It's happening. It happens today, and it happened for the last 400 years since 1619. Right? And those things come into play. But hey, guys, I'm a person that I don't mind talking about the things that other people don't talk about. I try to stay away from politics because that's real polarizing. So I don't want to make it this is not a political channel, right? We're talking about money. But when it comes to money, we got to have these hard conversations sometimes because these things are important, right? And there's people that are struggling with money. And when you start winning with money and going up the mountain of success with finances, You will have haters. You really will. Somebody said it's lonely at the top. It can be a little lonely at the top. Absolutely. But, you know, the thing you got to understand is when you have money, you don't have to morph into some person that is different from who you really are, right? Just be the same person. That's why I tell you to give and help people all the way up that mountain, right? Don't just wait until you have extra $3,000 a month to start giving to people. I want you to give and help people on the way up the mountain. So you don't never lose the notion and the idea that you are supposed to help other people with your money. So when you don't have any money to give, you have, let's say you have $5 to give to other people every single time you get paid. Give it. Help other people. Give it. I don't care if it's $2. I don't care if it's buying a homeless man a sandwich at McDonald's. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you go to Walmart, Sam's Club, buy about 20 pairs of gloves one day, one paycheck, and over the course of the next 2 months, you hand those gloves out to the people you see on the street who need help. You got to get in a posture of giving and helping other people all the way up the ladder of building your wealth. It starts when you have nothing. Don't wait till you have something to give and help other people, right? Because it doesn't matter. The concept of giving and helping is too mature to care about how much. It's not about how much. The concept is too advanced in its maturity to care whether you give $5 or $50. Doesn't matter. It's the thought that counts. So you want to be helping people when you have nothing, because you're learning. And so by the time you start making a whole bunch of money and you built your wealth, it's nothing for you to give away, $500 to help somebody out. Go pay somebody's rent for the month, whatever it could be. The point is that that's a principle, that's a value that you can develop at any time. So don't be the person who is trying to build wealth but ignoring helping people along the way. Don't be that person, right? So this is one of the things that I talk about, because as a person that says, "Hey, I'm smart money bro," right? People say, "Why can you talk about smart money bro?" Doesn't mean just smart. It means the way you think with money, the way I'm trying to get you to think about money. But hey, it's important to note that when you're building wealth, you have to stay humble along the way too. Right? All these things come into play when we're talking. I want to say, hey, never share your financial success. How do you handle it when you're building wealth? Do you just build it in a cocoon? Do you want to help and reach out to somebody? Nothing wrong with reaching out and helping somebody. But I say, don't share it unless they ask. If they ask, feel free to share. Right? Let's see. Somebody said, forget those perceptions, right? So true. Like you're lucky as you might. Yeah, people think that you're lucky. They don't see the hard work, right? You put in it's like the iceberg syndrome, right? Underneath the iceberg is ice that's 5 times bigger than what people see on the surface. Same thing when it comes to financial success. All of the hard work you put in for 15, 20, 30 years, not just hard work, but smart strategic work, people don't see all that. They see the end result, right? Yeah, I get Erod. Man, that's a great point, Erod. I'm going back a little bit and looking at some chats from a long time ago. Erod, a long time ago, said, I get from people that I'm not living my life, I guess because I don't waste my money. Man, that's a great comment, Erod. Yes, absolutely. People say, well, man, you got to live as if your living is their living. People will say this. Hey, man, you got to go on. I'm not a big vacation guy. I don't go on a lot of vacations, right? I'm not a big traveler or anything like that. Nothing wrong with it. That's cool if you do. I'm not a big traveler. So I hear from people, hey, man, you got to live life as if my living my life has to be the things that they enjoy to live their life, right? So, Erod, that's a great point. People look at you and say, hey, man, you got to live a little. Well, I live a little the way I like to live a little. It may not look the way you like to live a little, But a lot, but people, this is what people say, right? I get that all the time as well. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. Checking in from Jackson, Mississippi, righteous and masculine. Good to have you. Frank Ellis, I noticed my NVIDIA shares have been adjusted for the split. Hey, Frank, congratulations. We're all going to enjoy that split on Monday of NVIDIA if we have some, right? Whether it's in our uh, individual portfolio or not. Let's see. On the flip side, some people love you on the mountain, but if you fall on hard times, they may hate you in the valley. That can happen too. Scatterbrain said, "Yep, that can happen." My sister's like, "Hey, you want to get some seafood this weekend?" Because she know I got that Skrilla. John said, "That's funny, John. Yeah, you're right. People know, right? Let's see here. Right hand. Your left hand with the left hand, like it or not." Somebody said, "Read me about." What are you talking about? Read me. Okay. Let's say I just hit the like button. Thank you, Curtis, for hitting the like button. I appreciate it. Hey, from checking in from Kenya, David. Good to have you here. Really important topic. This is an important topic, guys. It is. Doesn't seem super important, right? But I want you to win with money. And I just want to caution you when you start winning with money. That's the whole purpose of this conversation. I want to caution you to say, when you start winning, don't share it. You don't have to share it. It's not important to share it. Now, if you're the type of person, let me say this. If you're the type of person that feels the need to share your financial success to make other people look at you a certain way, don't do it. Catch yourself. Don't do it. Right? A lot of people that build wealth don't have this problem, but some people do. They get a success and they want to share it with somebody so bad, and so they start talking about their success to people who aren't successful. And now they're looking at you funny. Like, okay, like, hey, good job. We can, right? It happens. Right? Appreciate you, Con the Don. Glad for being on here. Not sure what that name means, but it's an interesting one. Let's see. Money is not everything. That's the whole purpose of Smart Money Bro. Not to talk about myself in the third party, right? But the whole purpose of the channel is to realize that, okay, money is a tool. It's good for some things, but no, it's not everything. Matter of fact, money is not the most important thing in this life. Trust me, it's really not. Put money in its proper perspective, and you'll have a better perception of money. You'll understand money better. Speaking of that, in the description box, I have a free ebook about the 24 principles of money. Free ebook. Please, if you haven't gotten it already, please check that out. It's free from me to you. Talks a little bit about my story, but also talks about 24 principles, ways of looking at money. I don't know why I do that, but it's fun to do that. I don't know. Try that one day. All right. Somebody says it's the lack of money that's evil. Somebody says, I'm an advocate of learning to be happy before anything else. I'm an advocate of learning to have joy. And if I have joy, I may not always be happy, but I can still feel good about myself. Good point, Steve. Use money to love people. Nothing wrong with that at all. Always, yeah. Use money to help other people. Always. That's an ongoing thread throughout everything that I talk about. Is giving and helping other people. Glad you brought that up. Thank you. Checking in from El Monte, Wayne, Indiana's in the house. Good to hear you. See you or have you. Let's see here. The older I get, the less I care about what others think of me. Donna, you hit the nail on the head with that one. Absolutely. Got a video coming out tomorrow talking about that exact same thing, Donna. A regular video coming out tomorrow talking about that. The older you get, the less you care. Some people said, Tracy said, you're right. I admire rich people and want to learn from them. What is wrong with me? Tracy, you're right on the money. Absolutely. I admire people that have built some money as well. Donna said, I'll never have $1 million to my name, and that's okay. That's all right, Donna. I'm not mad at you for that, right? Doesn't mean you're not a great person, good person, et cetera, right? Alvira's in the house. Good to have you, Alvira. Let's see here. So let's talk about how you can handle things. How do you deal with this? People that don't like you because you have money. It can be a challenge, right? It can be a challenge. I want to spend some time talking about this because I don't just want to tell you what the situation is. I want to tell you what you can do and how to sort out. I never like to leave a live or leave a video without giving you some solutions or giving you some things that you need to consider. Let me see here. Carlton with the $4.99. super chat and the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate you, Carlton. Thank you so much. Carlton said, you're dropping bombs. Thanks for the wisdom. I appreciate you, Carlton. Thank you so much. What if you're building a brand? Good question, Carlton. What if you're building a brand? Showing my success helps me build my brand and presence online. Carlton, that's an excellent question. It's an excellent point. There's really only two reasons you want to share your financial success. One is if you're trying to bring awareness to people and you want to reach out and help people, and you're trying to start something that's going to help other people with money, finances, whatever it may be. In that instance, since you're talking about money, share it, but don't overdo it. Again, share it, but don't overdo it. Right? Share it as a means to, because people like proof. Let's be honest. We're on social media. People like receipts. I'm not saying actually literally show them your receipts. I'm saying you can talk about your situation and what you've been through, which is what I do on this channel, right? I talk about where I've come from in terms of personal finances, right? Because people like some proof. Now, I'm not going to show you a receipt. I'm not going to show you a big fancy car. I'm not going to show you all that, right? You can take my word for it. You don't have to take my word for it, but listen to the words I say. If you like it, you don't like it. If you think I'm joking or I'm not being honest, that's fine. You can leave to another channel. Totally up to you. But I'm not going to pull out I'm not going to lay out cash on the table. Okay. So, Carlton, in this instance, if you're trying to help some people, talk about it a little bit, but don't overdo it. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. The other reason you would share your financial success is if somebody asks you. They specifically ask you, "Hey, can you share with me how you XYZ, or what should I do?" Then you can kind of talk about what you've done to help them out. But your focus has to be on other people. You got to come and you got to lead your brand, Carlton, with the right heart. Lead your brand with the right heart. The heart is not to show all your fancy stuff so people will think higher of you. But the heart is, I'm telling you and giving you this information so that now you can understand that it's possible. And when you come with the right heart to reveal what you have to people to build your brand, people will respect that better. And you can sleep better at night. Hope that answered your question, Carlton. Thanks again for the super chats, man. I really, really appreciate that. So, what can you do? You're welcome, Louise. What can you do? Understand, guys, reflect on your behavior as you're building your wealth, right? I'm just going to be honest with you, right? I'm not going to bash the other side. I'm going to bash people that build money a little bit as well, guys. Okay. So I don't want to bash you, but I'm just going to try to be honest and hit the thing kind of in the holistic look at the whole thing, right? So you got to make sure that you're not contributing anything to the negative perception. Because I'm gonna be real with you. Sometimes when you're out there and you're talking to people or trying to help people, sometimes you got to check yourself, right? Sometimes you're unintentionally flaunting what you have in front of other people, not for the benefit of the other people. So you got to sort of check yourself too. Like I just said when I answered that question from Carlton, you got to check yourself a little bit. Make sure you're not overdoing things that will unintentionally lead to people feeling a certain way. Now, just by you saying things or talking, or you can't control how other people think about you. Don't try to control that, but just be sure that you're coming with a little bit of humility in a world where a lot of people are hurting financially, right? So you got to check your attitude, be honest with you, right, as well. That's one thing you can make sure. But if you're just a regular old humble person and you're just trying to help people, don't sweat it. People are going to feel how they feel and you can't do anything about it. Communicate. There's nothing wrong with communicating, but be honest in your communication. If you made mistakes in a certain area, say it. If they ask you, again, this is if they ask you, or if you're trying to, like Carlton is, build a brand. Be open and honest. You made a mistake. You'll hear me talk about on this channel, guys. Hey, I had foreclosures, right? I had a bad credit. I had a lot of issues, a lot of problems with money, right? Overdrafts. I've done all that. I've made a lot of mistakes with money. right? It's a part of who we all are. Don't run from your mistakes. Things happen, right? You're not perfect just because you built wealth. You got problems too. And then the other thing you want to do, what you can do is understand that people are hurting, right? Don't just look down on other people because they haven't done what you've done. If you're trying to help other people, then you have to have a little bit of empathy towards the people who have not got the revelations in their brain the way you got them in your brain 20 years ago, right? When you start going up the mountain to win financially, don't look down. You got to sort of look down because they're in the valley, but do what you can to have some empathy for the people that are left in the valley, and maybe you can extend a hand to help them up. Maybe you can't help them. Maybe you can't help them. But I found that people really help, really respond to help when they're ready to respond. But the point is that don't have your head so far in the clouds that you forget where you come from. That's really important. See, so the thing is that there's a lot of ways to look at this thing. The reason I say never share your financial success is because, listen, people just don't care. Most people don't care about you succeeding with your money, right? They just don't. Another thing you could do, and let me say this, and I talk about giving and helping, make sure you lead by example in terms of your generosity. Generosity. That's a good buzzword, generosity, right? When you start, as I said before you start building wealth, make sure you have a plan to use your resources to help other people. I don't care if it's a business you're building. I don't care if it's a product you sell, a service you sell. How can you donate? What can you do for free? Right? You own a cleaning business. Whose house can you go clean for free once a month? Right? You go clean it for free. It's on you once a month. Right? Maybe you have a retail. What can you give away? How can you help some people who need help? How can you support your community that you live in or that you want to support? This is being smart with money. And then, this is me. What I do is I live modestly, right? You don't have to live modestly. You can do what you want to do with your money. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. But I've never been a person to demonstrate what I have. And that's just my personality. If it's not your personality, I'm not mad at you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. You're good. If you want to, and it's nothing wrong with you spending your money on whatever you spend your money on if you have it to spend. But me, I just try to, I don't really try. It's more my personality to be a lot more modest, right? You don't have to be, right? But you do want to be authentic. Very important. Do want to be authentic and have some empathy, have some humility as you build your wealth and support people with your wealth. I'm not saying support people. Let me say that differently. Support causes that you believe in and help other people, right? Hey, good to have you here, Michael Bell. Let's see here. Mrs. Moore said 149 likes, guys. Get those likes up. We're having an honest conversation about money, about building wealth, about what happens when you start winning with money and whether or not you should or shouldn't or how to share your financial success. I say never share your financial success with anyone unless you're trying to help other people or help other people in a public forum or they ask. That's it. Right? I'm way behind on the chat, guys. Bear with me. I'm not going to get to all of them, so don't beat me up, guys. Let's see here. People don't see the sacrifices you make to save money. No, they don't. They really don't. They absolutely don't. And it's so sad and unfortunate, right? Let's see here. Thank you for doing. Hey, Mind Elevation, you got it. Anytime. I do be sharing when I'm winning because I get excited and I want to show other. Mind Elevation, I know the excitement. You start winning, you want to help other. Hey, this is what I did. Listen, don't do it. Don't do it. Let them ask, right? Work hard in the background. Put your money to work hard in the background. Just live life, right? Work hard in the background. Let your money work hard in the background. Just live life. Don't share with everybody. I know you want to. I know hey, look, there's this great idea. I've been doing this. I think you want to do it. No, don't do it. I'm saying be very, very cautious about it. Don't talk about it as much because there's haters that hate you, that hate on you, haters that hate on you, and you don't even know they're hating on you. Everybody that everybody that you thought would be happy about your success ain't happy. Not in the background. Oh, hey, good job. You did a good job. Oh, congratulations. Not always in the background. Jay's in the house. Good to have you, Jay. Have a small circle for a reason, Mrs. Reynolds said. I just avoided them. Don't brag about having money. No, please don't brag or boast about having money. Please don't do that. Okay. Act like it's not kind of like you ever watch a American football game when people score a touchdown and they're dancing and it's like, calm down. You want to get another one of these. Act like you've been there before. Same concept when you start winning with money. Act like you've been there before. Act like you scored touchdowns before and you're going to score more touchdowns. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at some of the celebrations are kind of funny. JGBK, Smart Money Bro, does that touch tone phone behind you actually work? Yeah, it actually does work. Actually, somebody else asked me that. Let me see something. If I remember the number, but it's in the phone, I won't call it. But yeah, it actually does work. And I've had it for about 15 years now, but maybe 20 years I've had it. But it actually does work. And it's a nice phone too, but it's a landline, and I do have a landline. Don't beat me up. Call me old school, right? I pay $20 a month to keep a landline. Okay. It's more of an emergency thing. Let's see. Wow, smart women speaking those facts. Yeah, trying to, John Joe. I'm trying to just be honest with you guys. Um, and I could be wrong about everything I'm saying. You might dispute everything I'm saying and say, hey, he's wrong. That's okay too. Somebody said I've donated to animal welfare organizations. Now I can donate more and fantastic, Desby. Absolutely. Absolutely. I move in silence when making money moves. Too many people out here aren't willing to put the work in. You're right, but you got to keep quiet. Best to keep quiet. Do what you do behind the scenes, like you said there, Bernice, and just keep going, right? And don't worry about trying to flaunt it, show it. You don't have to, right? Be confident in what you have and move on. You don't have to show it. No need for me to flaunt what I have. Even talking about my first published book becomes a little difficult. It does, Alvira. I did not reveal the fact that I was an author until the day it was released by Amazon. Alvira, congratulations on your book being released. Thank you so much for that comment. Yeah, just play the background. Act like you've been there. Remember, whatever you share online is there forever. Also, there are jealous people online that don't want to see anyone winning because they're losing. Mark said, absolutely, Mark. I agree with that 100%. Set boundaries, protect your well-being. You got to, when you start winning with money, yeah, the money is taken care of, but now you got this issue right here, right? And you got to start dealing with people in a certain way. You're gonna run into people that are funny towards you, funny acting towards you all of a sudden, right? And of course, you're gonna have to limit your interactions with some people when you start winning with money, right? Keep a healthy distance if you can. And then one thing you want to do when you start winning with money is focus on those positive relationships, not the relationships that are draining you because they know you have money and they expect you to pay for this with money. But you're saying, okay, I have money, but if I start paying for this, then I'm not going to have as much money. So I have to be careful with them. People that don't have money sometimes don't understand the things that people that have money are actually having to go through. And sometimes this disconnect is going to mean that if you have money and building wealth, you're going to have to pull away from certain people. And you're going to want to surround yourself by people who are more positive, right? Who understand a little bit about what you're going through or what's happening, etc. And don't look at you with those stereotypes as, oh, you got money, so everything is probably okay, when it's not, right? And then, of course, another thing you might want to do if you're in this situation is seek some advice. Maybe you watching these YouTube channels is what you need to help you through it. Now, listen, I offer a 101 to anybody, right? But I'm not going to sell that to you because you don't have to get a 101 from me. in order to get advice. You get advice from where you think it's best to get advice, right? I don't care if it's a counselor, if it's a therapist, if it's a podcast university, or if it's YouTube university, whatever it is. You need maybe to get some type of advice on how to handle that scenario, because you don't run into a lot of YouTube channels or videos where they're talking about, hey, what do you do after you build wealth and you have to deal with people who don't like you because you built wealth and they didn't? I mean, where's that YouTube video at? It's not a lot of them out there. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, because I knew that this is a topic that most people don't talk about. They just assume that you're winning with money. Everything is okay. You're winning with money. You must have a lot of friends. No, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes you got to learn to deal with the people who are not happy for your success, but you thought they would be happy for your success. And now you're upset because they're not happy for you. And right, it's an issue. Maybe you can spend some time, like I said, giving and volunteering and participating in local activities, what you have around your area, whatever it could be. But you got to handle these negative attitudes toward your wealth, believe it or not. You got to handle it. How do you handle it? Empathy, right? Did the discipline to work hard in the background, setting boundaries, right? Negotiating yourself to be away from the negativity and more around more positive people. There's lots of things you can do, guys. I didn't say that right. There's lots of things you can do, but you got to have thick skin. You got to have thick skin when you pull yourself up from nothing. And you have to have thick skin when you go up that mountain and everybody else you know is down there in the valley. You got to have thick skin. And it could be your family down in the valley. It could be your best friend since high school or elementary school down in the valley. Sometimes you got to learn to win on your own. You got to learn to be successful despite the non-success of everybody around you. You have to learn how to do it if you want to build wealth. Right? And you have to understand you will not be the toast of the town when you start winning with money. You just won't. I hate to say it. I wish it wasn't like that, but you won't. And you got to be, because listen, there are some people that are scared to be successful because they know they feel like they'll lose people. I know it sounds odd, but these things happen. There are people who are afraid to move to another level with their personal finances, with their life, with their career, because they're scared of what everybody else might say about them. That comes into play. Again, if you want to win with money, you got to have thick skin. You got to be willing to be the only person there for a while. And you got to be willing to, you got to also understand that the people that you left down in the valley, they may never come up there where you are. You may lose them for life because they're going to look at you different. They're going to perceive you different. They're going to throw you in a box of stereotypical things because you built wealth. You think you're better than everybody else. You blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Dodge J said, I love this message. I was informing people about NVIDIA stock splits, telling them now is the time to get in and take advantage, but it seemed like I was wasting my time. Dodge J. There you go. They don't care. Most people just don't care. Right? Protect your energy, said Mind Elevation. People are always going to hate you if you're more successful. Kimmy, how do you go about giving money without thinking they'll? Kimmy asked an excellent question. I got to highlight this, Kimmy Apple. Kimmy said, how do you go about giving money without thinking how they'll use it? Here's how I do it, Kimmy. I don't worry about how people use the money so much because my job is to give. My job is to not sit and ponder and think and wonder and come up with all these scenarios. Well, they're going to go buy some drugs. Oh, they're going to go buy some. They're going to go buy some alcohol. Oh, they're going to just use it for. There's too. I'm making stuff up. When you start doing that, you start worrying about things you can't control. When you talk about money, you only worry about the things that you have control over. All I can do is give the money. How you use it, you got to answer for how you use it, not me. I'm helping you. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do on the planet is by helping other people. Here's $75. I felt like you needed something. Told me that you need this money. Here you go, $75. Now I'm gonna get real stressed out and anxious and not and unsure and I'm everything's gonna get clouded the moment I start wondering what you're gonna do with that $75. It's none of my business. I don't know. I'm just helping you. Now, if I know for a fact, if you told me I'm just going to go buy a bunch of alcohol with this $75, if you told me that and I still give it to you, now it's on me. Right? So how I handle that, Kimmy, is I say, look, not my business. I just want to help. Boom, boom, boom. I've done my job. Now I need to slide to the side and make sure I worry about things that I can control. So that's how I handle it, Kimmy. I never worry about what people are going to do with the money or what they're going to do with what I give them. That's too much for me to think about. Great question, though, Kimmy. John said, you just reminded me to give to my local food pantry. I know they do good things with the money. Absolutely. I'd like to own my time. I don't care what people think. Absolutely. Monthly donation is good, right? Somebody said, stop thinking about it. Mrs. Moore says, stop thinking about it. Absolutely. Right? I did a video about not loaning money to family or friends. I never loan money. Never loan money. I give what I can give, and that's how it gets done. That way there's no animosity. There's no you owe me. I give you what I can afford to give you, solves the issue. Our relationship stays intact, and hopefully I help you. If I didn't help you the way you think I needed to help you, then that's something that you have to deal with. But I'm going to give you what I can give you. I'm not going to loan you money because I don't want you to, not family and friends, right? So listen, guys, I just want to have the conversation. I hope you guys got something of value out of this. The way you can show me that you got something of value is to hit the like button and share this information. Share the link with somebody about this topic. It's an important topic that doesn't get enough play with people who are trying to build wealth. Because as you build wealth, you're going to encounter this. And it's just not talked about enough. And then when you feel like you have a measure of wealth, this is going to be a part of how you have to navigate life as a person who has a little bit of wealth. That little bit of wealth could be 200,000, it could be 3 million. I don't know. It could be $50,000. Whatever it could be. Whatever your measure of wealth may be. I don't know what your measure of wealth may be, but when you start gaining that measure of wealth, you've got to deal with this, and you got to know how to deal with it. Or you may not have money problems, but now you have a lot of mental things that you're thinking about because you're worried, you're not sure, and why do these people do this, and why do they, and you'll be questioning things, right? And you'll be wondering, well, man, this is why this whole scenario is why it makes no sense to flaunt your wealth. I say flaunt it. Let me say it differently. It makes no sense to act like you have money, but you don't really have money. This is why you see on my channel, I've done several videos about people who try to look rich on the outside. It doesn't make sense to do that, in my opinion, with money. Right? There's a lot of people who like to wear what they perceive as the perception of wealth, or drive what they perceive as the perception of wealth. Doesn't make sense. Right? Anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this Saturday morning, guys. You got to hit that like button. You got to share this video and check out some of the free things that I have in the description box below here on YouTube. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, please consider subscribing. Right? I try to look at money from a perspective that's not just, Hey, invest, 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 invest. Now, investing is great, and we talk about investing quite a bit, but there's more to money than just make more money, make more money, make more money. How do you handle money? How do you manage money? How do you manage your decision making? How do you write goals? How do you make a budget? How do you do all these things to build a strong financial foundation with money? I want to look at money from the whole big picture, not just, hey, here's I could do video after video about 5 ways to increase your income, 5 side hustles, but money is more than just that. It's way more than just that. Money is psychology. Money is discipline. Money is the right behaviors. Money is being consistent. Money is understanding how to manage the money that you have so you have more. Money is about building assets, paying off debt, right? There's so much to money that I want to make sure we see it from a big picture, because that's how you grow, right? That's how you grow. Let's see here. Thank you, bro. Great advice. Thanks for being here, Namisha. I appreciate you. Alvira, Brad, Zach. Brad said, do you give yourself percentage you can spend out of your budget when you get paid? Yes, Brad. I give myself a little bit of money to spend out of the budget. Absolutely. Very little bit. Not much, because I don't spend very much money. I'm pretty frugal. But I give myself, not a percentage, Brad. I give myself a certain amount of money, not percentage. And I pay myself from business. I have an S corp. Okay. I have an LLC that files as an S corp, right? Just being honest with you, okay? Smart Money Bro is a business, okay? And so from that business, I pay myself a salary, and we can have a whole live about that. I appreciate that. Feel free to email me any questions you may have about that, or drop it in the comments below when we post this video on this live on YouTube. But yeah, I have a whole system for that, which I can share with you guys sometimes. Let's see here. Good comment, Zach. Let's see. John Joe, don't forget to like and share. Yes, please, guys, like and share. Appreciate you. South Holland, Illinois is checking in. Archanice, good to have you here. Got family there in South Holland. Listen, as I always say, wait a minute, I don't always say this. Remember, never share your financial success with anyone unless you're trying to build a brand to help other people or they ask. Otherwise, don't share. Keep it quiet. The best person to take care of the old you is the young you. Guys, do me a favor. Take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.